How's it going, everyone? Tiffany here for Wccftech, where consumers come first. And today we're going to be reviewing Layers of Fear. Layers of Fear is a first-person horror game where players must explore a huge manor in an attempt to understand what happened to the main character and his family, and to complete what might be considered his greatest piece of work ever. The story itself doesn't break any new ground, but it is engaging the way that it's told. Throughout the game, you'll have to piece together memories from the past, eerie messages scribbled on the walls and furniture, documents, and more. Focusing on some of these elements, however, is not enough to fully grasp the story. There's plenty of symbolism in the narration, and many details may be lost if you don't pay attention to your surroundings. Things like unrelated items, pictures, and the twisted visions that you experience are all important factors here. Layers of Fear has a strong tie with art, painting specifically, which is underlined by this unique storytelling method. Sometimes it feels like you're painting a picture of the story yourself with the tools provided by the game, which makes for an amazing journey overall. As a horror game, Layers of Fear is stacked with moments that will unnerve and scare you. There will be moments where you don't want to open that next door, or even operate mechanisms in front of you. It's a feeling that doesn't give up until the end, so you never feel like any place is truly safe. The team put a lot of effort and creativity into these twisted psychedelic sequences, with very few gimmicks being reused. The abundance of these sequences, however, ends up making the final chapters feel a little less scary than intended. You may find yourself being more excited to see what happens next, rather than just being afraid. The game's themes and atmosphere are vastly enhanced by the presentation. The graphics are very well done with excellent lighting and plenty of details, and so are all the special effects employed in the more psychedelic moments. It's really difficult not to shiver when you see entire rooms changing, paintings dissolving into twisted versions of themselves, and more. These special effects have a precise function in the context of the game, so they're not a simple showcasing of the team's ability and creativity. They're a coherent and fundamental part of the whole vision. The soundtrack is also one of the best features of Layers of Fear. There are a few hauntingly beautiful piano pieces which are also tied to the game's story and characters that contribute in creating a surreal and melancholic atmosphere, evoking happy times long past. An honorable mention also goes to the voice actors who have managed to charge the memories with heartfelt emotion. With pretty much all of Layers of Fear elements geared towards creating the best horror experience possible, it's disappointing to see the actual gameplay taking a back seat. The game is a linear experience with no backtracking, locked areas, and more. You'll find yourself walking from room to room, interacting with a variety of objects to find documents and other important items. There are a few simple puzzles to solve here and there, but they can feel more like a nuisance rather than an actual challenge when you're anxiously awaiting the next story beat or the next scare. There's plenty of additional content to be discovered though, with some of the rooms and items being quite hard to discover during your first playthrough, which adds a good reason to play through the game again. The sporadic puzzles aren't the only feature that breaks immersion though. The performance of Layers of Fear is rather uneven on the PlayStation 4, with frame rate drops and stuttering. Thankfully they're not that frequent, but when they happen they're very noticeable. It's clear from the beginning of the game that the team had a very strong vision for Layers of Fear. The game's characters and disturbing visions are so twisted yet vivid that they will stay with you for a long time, and even become part of your own nightmares. There are a few issues that prevent the game from being a masterpiece, but if you're looking for an involving experience, you should definitely check this one out. We gave it a 7.8.